First Talk. Local guests, local news, local sports. WHKY Talk Radio, 1290 AM and 102.3 FM.
First Talk with Hal Rowe, WHKY Talk Radio.
Good morning. You're listening to First Talk with Hal Rowe on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. The Visit Hickory, North Carolina annual report is out, the 2024-25 report. Hickory Conover Tourism Development Authority, the HCTDA, Visit Hickory, Hickory Metro Convention Center. Got it right here in my hands, and here to tell us all about it, the CEO, Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand, President and CEO of the Hickory Metro Convention Center Visitors Bureau. Nice to have you with us this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Always great to be here.
Just for the purposes this morning, how would you like us to, because this is a nice title and it's all encompassing, but what's the best way? Is it the Hickory Metro Convention Center Visitors Bureau? What do you like?
That is a great question. I would say Visit Hickory is our tagline. Is, we've talked about before our branding, Visit Hickory, and along with that is our Hickory Metro Convention Center.
That's great. Visit
Just
Hickory
say,
brings
here we
it
are
all
with
in.
Visit Hickory. Exactly.
Okay, and that
that encompasses everybody in our area.
Reinforces the branding.
Right.
And then we can go through maybe and talk a little bit about what makes that up. What makes up Visit Hickory.
Right.
We'll do that this
Sounds
morning.
great.
Sarah Jones, nice to have you with us this morning. Thanks so much. Now, do I have the name right? Hold on just a second.
You do.
Okay, I want to make sure. Sarah Jones, nice to have you with us this morning. This is listed alphabetically in the back page. Vice President of Sales, Marketing, and Tourism Development. Always a pleasure to have you. And how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Hope you are.
Yes, ma'am, I am. And we'll talk with you about the report from Visit Hickory, economic impact, all the different things that are going on with the Convention Center and with the Visitors Bureau. We're going to meet Amber Howard this morning. And I'll close the book. I want to make sure that I get it right. I started to, and let's go. Oh, there we go. Thank you for reminding me. This is in alphabetical order. Amber Howard, Vice President of Convention Center Operations. And you started there when you were very young, and you've been there for a good number of years.
I have.
Let's put it. How about put it that way?
That's great.
All right,
That'll
very
work.
good. You're originally from Catawba, right here in Catawba County.
That's right. Went to Bandy's High School.
Bandy's High School, very good. Now, did you go to the Convention Center, start work there right after high school?
No, I went to East Carolina University.
East
and
Carolina.
Graduated with my bachelor's degree in communications.
Very good. Fine school. Fine school.
Go Pirates.
Go Pirates.
And then I came to the Convention Center. So this is really my first and only job.
Very good. Well, you must be good at it, and you enjoy it. I'm sure you're working with a lot of great folks.
I do.
So now you actually worked with B.B. Leach.
I did, yeah.
Okay, for a good number.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, and I'm going to guess that you've worked your way up.
I have. I started out as just an accounting clerk.
Accounting? Really? Okay.
And then I became the event coordinator, assistant event coordinator. Now I'm the vice president.
So this is something that obviously you enjoy.
I do, yes.
Family in the area?
Yes. Born and raised here. All my family's here.
Okay, very good. So you're not going anywhere.
I'm not. I went away for 4 years and I came right back.
So they're going to have to throw you out of here.
That's
right?
exactly right.
Tell me about your day in and day out job now. Help me with what you do in your career right now with the Convention Center and with the Visitors Bureau.
Okay. Well, I manage the operations team, who is awesome. We have a very small team, but we do a lot of work with a small team. So they set up and tear down all the events, which is an everyday job. Slinging chairs and tables. Mandy doesn't like to say slinging.
Right.
She wants us to be careful.
I looked over at her.
We're
She had a
gentle.
look
We're
on
gentle.
her face. Right.
Yeah.
But that's what you're doing.
So they gently are stacking chairs.
Okay, gently
Sounds much better.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They're
All right.
servicing the event.
Right.
Which is a big part of our business, the customer service aspect. And thankfully, we're fortunate to have great people. A lot of our staff right now is new
Okay.
as far as the operations team.
Right.
But they all have great personalities and are great with the customer service aspect. And then once the business gets there, I used to not really recruit the business, but the inside sales part of the business. Now I do the contracts.
Are you? I'm going to guess. I don't know because I know these other ladies are very involved, hands on and involved with the client. But I'm thinking that maybe when people roll in sometime with the truck or they roll in and they're started. You may be that contact person. They come to you and they say, hey, we were supposed to have 30 chairs over here. And you kind of go, well, we had this down for 20, but let me see if we can find that extra 10. You got to be that person, right?
That's right. I'm kind of the detail person.
I
like to say, they're the face.
Right.
And they're the people you hear a lot. And then once you get there, I really take care of you. I'm in the details.
Right.
And I'm happy to be in the background.
And that's kind of cool, too. Now, years ago, and I'm sure that this is not the case now, because I've been out there. It's really nice and it's fancy and, man, it's clean and all the lights are really bright and it really looks good. It used to be they would actually have like rodeos and stuff in there and like dirt on the floor and have dirt cars come in there and they probably don't allow dirt anymore.
That's correct. And thank goodness we moved away from that.
Okay, good. No more dirt, no more rodeos.
Because there was a time that we had a circus. And we had elephants in the building. And then the very next day, we had a sorority there. and they did not enjoy the smell
the
that
smell,
was left
right.
behind from the elephants.
Because an elephant has a certain type of smell, right?
Yeah.
It's
So
kind of
when
nice.
we needed business, that was great.
Right.
But we're fortunate now that we can kind of filter some of those out and not have those kind of events anymore because they just don't work as well with our space.
Or at least stagger the schedule.
Yeah,
We're too busy. We don't have time because it takes like it takes a couple of
right.
days to move
that
in.
rodeo dust, we were cleaning up for weeks and weeks
Rodeo
after.
dust, right. So you kind of moved past that. But you were the person at that time who, when the rodeo came in, you were in charge of let's get the dirt floor down, let's get it up. Your job's got to be a lot more pleasant and a lot better now that you're dealing with volleyball teams and you're dealing with executives and folks who come in and are doing food shows. I mean, you got all kinds of different folks there, and you get to meet them. You're kind of in the background, and you see their needs, and maybe people need refrigerators or freezers, and they need the plugs for those, and they need the electricity, and these folks go out and they sell it, and then they come back in, and you got to deliver. You got to make sure that everything is handled. You need to take care of those clients because you want them back.
Right. Yeah. So again, I have a great team that helps with that.
Right, sure,
but that's one of the most interesting things about my job is that it's always different. It's always a different person.
Every show is different.
Yep.
So very cool. And I'm just so glad to meet you. And what a great representation for people to come in and have you meet them and greet them and take care of their needs and get them as repeat customers. So way to go. Great job, Miss Howard.
Thank you.
Talking this morning about Visit Hickory, and we're going to refer to it as that from now on. The branding program. Joining us this morning, Amber Howard, Vice President of Convention Center Operations, Sarah Jones, Vice President of Sales, Marketing, Tourism Development, Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand. And I want to start when we come back. Now that we're back, I want to talk to you, Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand, because we were talking during the break about the growth that has happened. And we're going to get to the annual report, but I want to talk a little bit about the growth that has happened from the days of rodeo dust to what we're taking a look at, to what we're looking at today, and something happening most every day. The fact that your custodial staff and the leader over there make sure that the place is just spotless, looks great. And her name is Olivia, is that right?
It is.
Olivia does a wonderful and loves her job and takes a great deal of pride in making sure that this showpiece is well represented by making sure that when people come in, everything looks, because these are clients. These are people who are coming in and spending their money. They got a lot of choices in North Carolina, and they're coming here so that the team really does make it look nice, provides everything that they need. But a lot of this comes from developing folks and developing leadership and developing a good team. B.B. Leach and you worked together for a good number of years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Ms. Jones is here this morning, developing her as a leader in the community and what we're doing. So you're bringing these folks in and building this team and continuing to build with what's going on with the convention center itself, the rebranding. And I want to go over just briefly a little bit of the history, but I want to talk about with Ms. Jones a little bit about her history there at the convention center. But tell me about how you're doing that and building the team and bringing everyone along. Ms. Howard talked about first job, but she's worked her way up. Now a vice president, one of the vice presidents at the location. Tell me a little bit about that team building and what that means for our community.
Well, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
And I can recollect the last 10 years. I know I've said this, Amber and Sarah have heard me say this over and over again, but next month I'll be in this position for 10 years.
Wow. Doesn't seem like it, does it?
No.
Because we've known each other 25 years.
We have.
24 years, right.
And so I think it takes time. You get in there, you learn the organization. It's always been a great organization, but so much has happened, so much growth. But during those 10 years, we've had a lot of ebbs and flows. We've had the pandemic, and then we have a renovation and expansion, which, you know, we've talked about several times on the air before about how we still stayed open, and we can talk about that later on. But I think we have a vision. When I got in there, one of the reasons I took the job is because I had the opportunity to work with Amber before and work with Sarah. And I was like, I want to join these ladies because
Really? Wow.
we're leading. So I could see when you're there.
That's pretty cool.
You have people there. And yeah, Sarah came to work with me at Oktoberfest one whole weekend about 11 years ago. So she worked the booth with me when she had started at there. So when CVB and Hickory used to really help do the booths. And I was like, yeah, I'm going over there. When I had the opportunity, I said, that's where I want to go. And just having different, so the three of us have always stayed really tight, triangle, circle, whatever. We really try to figure out where are we going to be 3 years from now, where are we going to be 5 years from now. Yeah, we hit a bump in the road with the pandemic, but hey, we had to keep thinking about where we are in 5 years, where we are in 10 years.
Strategic development. How are you going to do it and what that plan looks like?
And plus, I was seeing everything that Sarah Davis Jones was doing, everything that Amber's been Amber Martin for a long time. Sarah and I have these two last names that have been with us in our professional career quite a bit too. That's why we use our three names. Anyways, the purpose of that is like we knew that I couldn't go to sleep at night thinking of everything that Sarah was having to do, like from the sales to the marketing. Amber having to make sure, do we have people who are going to show up? Do we have like events? She's doing contracts. So I think, so we've got to grow for them, for us to be able to keep Sarah and Amber.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Right. Okay.
Because they were, I mean, I was like, it was
Well, I think that any big corporation or anybody like that has got to go through those lean times, and then you build and you grow from that, and then you build the company from that.
And our board understood that finally. It's like, hey, we are getting big enough, and we can't handle this. Like when there's other CVBs, you've got a director of marketing, a director of sales. Well, we've got an event coordinator, a director of events. We've got operations. We've got a facilities manager. We've got a custodian. So I think it took time, but our board trusted us. And knew that we know what we're doing. We love what we do. It's not a job, it's a career. And so I think it's the trust and we built. And anyways, I don't mean to go down the rabbit hole, but I think it just took years and we knew, and we're getting there. Now I want to see us grow a little bit more, but right now I think we're at a good spot to see how we're going to be in the next year or two.
Sarah Davis Jones, I want to talk to you specifically and the growth that you've experienced there, because something that you said during the break, that oftentimes, not oftentimes, but you said there were times when staffing, you actually would be dressed professionally, business dress. And then at the end of the day, if there was an event coming, you would actually change into other clothes to help set up and to be able to set the, if I may use an industry term, slinging tables and chairs, gently stacking.
And it was free exercise, so I kind of miss those days.
But you actually would do that. So there's been growth there. There's been professional development. I want you to talk a little bit about citizen of Hickory. Yeah. And somebody who's been here. I mean, you used to run the bases at the beautiful LP Friends Stadium, so you kind of grew up around here. Tell me a little bit about professional development, the opportunities that you've seen, and a little bit about the growth that the community has experienced through what you're seeing with Visit Hickory.
Yeah, so thanks again for having me. I mean, I've lived here my whole entire life. I went to Appalachian State University, and go Mountaineers. I know, Amber just, ugh.
I know.
But, I guess growing up here, I ran the bases at the Crawdad Stadium, and I would, my parents would take us to a lot of events in the area. But coming back after school, this wasn't my first job after school. I worked at another location in North Carolina, and then quickly, realized coming
how
back
good
home.
You got it here,
yeah.
It's a great community.
We have that secret sauce here. I know we've said that a lot, and we actually had that conversation yesterday, but we really do here. And so seeing that early on was really amazing. in my early 20s to say, "Ooh, okay, this is where I think I want to go."
Right.
And so BB actually hired me. I've been
Okay.
there for just over 11 and a half years.
Okay.
And so, through the years,
you've had a lot of challenges. I think you've seen it all.
Yeah.
You've been able to sling chairs.
Yeah.
You've had to do that. You've seen the growth. You're there now with this beautiful renovated facility, but also professionally, you have had, I guess, opportunities to go out and find out more about what it takes to present. I wouldn't use the word pitch, to present to clients, to bring people into the area. You've had a lot of opportunity for growth and been able to enhance your career and do a great job for the folks in our area due to the fact that the board, like Mandy was saying, had confidence in you.
Yeah, they trust us for sure.
The expanse of what is going on there in our area, and I think it's wonderful that and maybe people don't think about it every day. Shouldn't probably if they don't work there, but we have this wonderful opportunity to bring folks in to see what's going on in Hickory.
Absolutely.
To host people in Hickory. You've got the hotels and all that, and you work with so many different levels of people. You have to work with those. So it's been a great opportunity for you, right? Even though it's been tough and it's been hard, maybe you're seeing some of the fruits of your labor now.
It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. I work with amazing people, and like Mandy said, our board trusts us, and they put the faith in us to lead the organization, and we're lucky to have an amazing staff and crew. But it also takes great leadership to trust Amber and I to lead our teams and to also provide us with the opportunities to continue to grow
And
professionally.
isn't it nice to have teams?
Oh,
that
for sure.
That it's just not you.
No,
that you gotta
there's no
go out.
I in this team for sure.
I
It takes
like
all of
that.
us.
I like that a lot. More first talk right after this, and we'll come back. Let's talk about Visit Hickory in the annual report. But I did want to kind of let people know exactly what's going on there, the way that you have had the opportunity for professional development, and the way that the actual CVB, the Metro Center, all this has progressed to the benefit of our community. More first talk right after. Good morning. You're listening to First Talk with Hal Rowe on WHKY, talk radio for the greater Hickory Metro. Visit Hickory, which encompasses the Hickory Conover Tourism Development Authority, which I believe this organization started as. Of course, visit Hickory Metro Convention Center and the Hickory Visitors Bureau. It's Visit Hickory. It's got a really good look. Hey, y'all.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
How you doing?
There you go. Oh, hey. That's what
You know how
it is.
many times I hear that on a daily basis now?
Do you really?
People see me now, oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
I love it. I love it.
There you go. Making it work.
That's right.
From what we take locally. Oh, hey. Tell me about, let's talk a little bit about the annual report.
Okay.
And because we that is out, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you here. But I also want to talk about the growth and what we've seen there. And Sarah Davis-Jones was telling us during the break about all the different areas and the total growth of the views of the people who have been there. Let's talk a little bit about that, because it really is a vital part of what's going on in our community, whether people realize it or not. Try to go out to any of the restaurants over in the Restaurant Row area, and you see ball caps and jerseys, and you see people who are dining out and coming to the area. It's a big impact. I was looking at some of the numbers, some I didn't even realize, but I'm saving tax dollars. You all are saving me tax dollars, which I really appreciate. And there's a per person tax dollar benefit to what goes on at the Hickory Metro Convention Center and what's going on with the Hickory Visitors Bureau. Tell us about the report and condense it for us.
Condense
And
it.
Mandy
That's
Pitts, you
really...
have 6 minutes to tell me
well, I'm not
everything
going to
that's
use
in
all
this,
6 minutes. You know,
in
for to
this
say there's a
report.
long story short with me is kind of funny. But anyway, so just summarize really just some highlights. And again, you can find this on our website and look at it in detail. But really, this past year, we recap it. When we started this a couple years ago, we had a front page and a back page. Now it's about 8 pages because we've just grown so much. But I think the past year, when I say the past year, it was July 2024 to June 2025. And so basically, last year at this time, we were dealing with Hurricane Helene, and I know WHKY spent a lot of time remembering that milestone of the year. That went through our year, and we have a fresh face. We've talked about the new brand, celebrating growth. We had Cut the Ribbon. You were there at the ribbon cutting. Thank you, on November 25th, 2024. Another big thing.
Well, I had to support you. That was because of you.
Well,
I was there to support YOU because you've always been a great supporter of the community and the station. And when I found out the ribbon cutting was going to be there, I absolutely, because
thank you.
You put a lot of hard work into it. You've been with it for a number of, I know it's team. I know that.
Team.
But you got coaches and you got leaders and you got people who
That's
are vital.
right. You wouldn't want to miss it. It's a milestone in our history.
I've known you for a number of years, and I absolutely wanted to support you and all the teams and all the people who were there. But yeah, that was a pretty big day, and to say there were a lot of who's there, it was.
It was.
Yeah,
And
I was
then-
like, I just let me get in the back here. I'm just going to sit in the back.
I saw you. I was looking right at you.
There you go.
All right, you're taking up my 6 minutes. Okay. So here we go. Statewide Spotlight.
All right, taking up your time. I'm sorry. Go right ahead. Okay, please.
Think the world of you.
You're right.
Sarah and I were talked about this before on the show a couple months ago, but really after the Visit North Carolina conference here, having that was a really big accomplishment for our community, and something we talked about 10 years ago, saying, hey, we want to host Visit North Carolina in Hickory.
You did. That's right. That's one of the things
once
that you
we
want to
put
do.
it out there in the universe, once it's in our brain, we're going to make it happen. And so we've talked about that before. And then again, I think Sarah just brought this up, our record-setting momentum, like with visitor spending, our events. We had more events than ever at the convention center. Our event revenue and occupancy tax obviously grew, and it needs to continue to grow as we grow, because our job is to market the whole county and the community, and to bring people here as well. So it was just a record-breaking year. And again, all the details, I don't know which way you want to go with that, if you want to talk about the events or other things as well. But this is really a well-done annual report. I really encourage, especially your listeners, all of you are ambassadors. We need our ambassadors are the ones that help bring people here. So I need you all, that's part of your homework today. I need you to go to visit HickoryNC.com and check out our annual report, and make sure you memorize our destination guide, and you go out there in the community and you talk about all there is to do here.
That's right.
Under 6 minutes.
I tried.
With my interruption, even taking up your time, you got us.
That's impressive.
Under 6
I
minutes.
can keep going.
Yeah,
there's a lot to it, but again, there's a lot.
It got me thinking, knowing y'all, that when somebody says, I went to, and it just happened recently. I had a guest in, and they said, well, we're here because we're going to a convention in Gastonia. And the first things out of my mouth, I think it was on the air even, I was like, we ought to consider Hickory, because we have a wonderful, and I think I did it. I think I did that on the air.
And I was like, thank you did do it on the air.
Because they, and I was like, I know somebody, and we can make things work, because whether it is the national asphalt producers or whatever it may be, it's a basketball team, it's a sporting event, whatever. I want them to at least be thinking about Hickory and to consider coming and having their convention here, because in my career, I've attended different conventions in different areas. And I think about the amenities that we have as far as the hotel rooms, the restaurants, everything that we have, and of course, the beautiful facility itself that you can set up and you configure in so many different ways. It's a wonderful place. So you're right. We need to get the whole team, everybody here, talking about bring your convention, bring your meeting, bring your folks to Hickory.
And you were saying the Carolina West Wireless commercials you do about how it's local. Well, people listening are part of an association. They need to support local. They need to bring their group here and experience Hickory. So that I thought about that when you were doing your live spot a few minutes ago. Like, we are the local, convention. We need to bring people here, and so it's our job in our community to bring other people here.
And as I sit here and think
local.
over the years, because I've been here for a number of years, just thinking about the parking deck and the way that it used to be, and the parking, and the way that one of my first memories of the forward motion is the way that you're greeted when you come into the building itself. And that greeting area and that lobby area, because that's different. I think that was an earlier expansion. But I remember, and man, the way that this has grown and the way that this has come about over the years, something everybody, y'all ought to be very, very proud of. But also, this is something that the people in our community should be really, really proud of and really enjoy, because it truly is something else for our area. So what's next? Well, let's talk about what's next, Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand.
Well, I'm just going to say one other quick thing, and then I'm going to Amber and Sarah. They've got so much to say in the next little thing too. But
Okay.
when I was sitting in the green room,
Yep.
Business
You
North
met
Carolina
Chris, right?
magazine. Oh yeah, I met Chris.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we look forward to getting to know him a little bit more. And so
He's
glad
just
to
in
hear
there
his
chatting.
story.
I don't know what they're chatting about. They're not paying attention.
But we're another thing we thought about 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. We need to get more press on a bigger level, and there's a lot of kudos to go with that, with our marketing team and everything that we've done. But it's not just us; it's the whole community. It's everything everyone's doing. But in the Business North Carolina magazine, about a month or so ago, there's an article called "Bigger and Better," and it talks about the convention of meetings. And Hickory is mentioned in there with Raleigh. Who else? Sarah Raleigh, and we've got Asheville, and the head of Visit North Carolina is on there too. So Hickory is up there with the big leagues now, and we're getting mentions and being compared to Charlotte and Asheville, Raleigh.
Just a real quick question. I know that you go out and knock on doors. You send emails. How much easier is it now? I don't want to say easier, but how much are people calling you? And that outreach is changing. And everybody's kind of smiling. We don't want to say, but how much easier is it now when you're saying, I'm sorry, we're filled up, or we can't do it that weekend? Does that happen to you?
It does. It does. It happens quite a bit, actually. And so, usually that conversation is, we would love to work with you.
Right.
How can we look ahead maybe in the next couple years?
Right.
And that's not to say we don't have a few random dates here and there, but Amber and I and Kendall and our team, and like we said, we just hired a new sales support manager, Haley. It's our job to kind of make sure that calendar fits together and fit what we can in there, but we work really well to do that. So if you're looking to come to Hickory for a convention, a meeting, public show, whatever, reach out to us. We'll get you on the schedule maybe for 2026 or so.
That's right.
Very nice. Isn't that nice to be able to say that?
That's
Our
right.
first talk right after this. Good morning. You're listening to First Talk with Hal Rowe on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. We're joined this morning by Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand, President and CEO. Visit Hickory, and we're just going to refer to it as Visit Hickory from now on. I think that's a great idea. Just brand it, keep driving that brand home. Amber Howard, Vice President of the Convention Center Operations. That's a pretty cool title. That really is. I like that title.
Thank you.
Sarah Davis-Jones, Vice President, Sales, Marketing, and Tourism Development. Ladies, I want y'all to just take a moment before we wrap up this morning. Because I asked what's next. And when we went to the end of the last break, you were telling me, now the situation is we're going to try to get you in. Or if you get a phone call last minute and we need a meeting room, that seems to be the effort that you're moving forward towards now. Is that right, ma'am?
It is. We try to work with people's schedules. We try to get people in if we can make it work with the calendar of events that we have going on. But Amber can attest, we are very blessed, very fortunate to have the number of events that we have. And like Mandy mentioned, we had a record number this past fiscal year. So, but what that looks like moving forward for our sales team, and especially our outside sales team, is we're attending new conferences, new trade shows this year, different ones that we've not really had the opportunity to attend.
Okay, so you're going to those trade shows and you're seeing what's out there. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to try and really promote Hickory and our convention center and our community, because that's really what people want. They don't just focus on a space. Spaces are a dime a dozen, and ours is fantastic. But there are other convention centers, like you mentioned in the past. There are other convention centers in North Carolina and the Southeast, but what we are going to go out and say is, look, we have this space, but you also have a one-stop shop team of people that work with you from point A to point Z, all the way to
that's so important, right? So I can understand why Miss Howard is going to be doing more visiting and more talking and more.
Right.
Because Miss Howard, I'm thinking, I don't know, but your sales team may come to you and say, oh, look, we'd really like to have the rodeo come, and they've got big bucks and we got everything they need. And you kind of have to just,
Yeah, and
Shake
I'm
your
going to
head
say no thanks.
Yeah.
No.
No, sweetheart, we really can't do that. We're
Honestly,
really not gonna...
if the price is right, we may have another rodeo, but no.
Right.
Our niche right now is like corporate events and governmental events.
Right.
But really, what we want to do is for future years recruit more association events, and there's an association for everything.
Right.
So that's really
North
what
Carolina
our
Association of Broadcasters.
That's right.
That's an association,
That's right.
So we have different associations for just about everything. So you think that's where it is? That's where the future of
I
Hickory
think
is?
that's what our goal is for our community, to put heads in beds,
Right.
Get overnight stays,
Right.
have people eating in our restaurants and staying multiple days. That's really where associations, help us with that. So that's really what we're looking. I mean, we're fortunate that we have some associations like the North Carolina Cattlemen's and the North Carolina Directors of Social Services Association. They come back every year.
Yeah.
And we love them.
Because,
we love them a lot.
Once we get somebody here, they want to stay every year, which is
Sure.
awesome.
And now that's got to make it a little bit easier for you, Ms. Sarah David Jones, because you're able to mark them out on the calendar and just pick up the phone and say, "Where's your convention this year?" Oh, it's always the third week in October.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're able to go on for the next 5 years and say for the next third weekend in October, we're done. We're
Right.
booked.
Yeah, theoretically, we work with some groups that allow us to book several years out. A lot of groups will rotate through the state. Some groups stay with us, and we love them for that. But sometimes they'll rotate to the eastern part of the state, and then our friends
Sure.
on the eastern part of the state will say, "Okay, they're coming back to you next year." And so
Right.
we work that out with the client a lot of times, and we have open communication. I'll say that's a North Carolina thing. I'm not sure about other states, but North Carolina is pretty friendly with each other in the meetings and conventions industry. But and I'll add to what Amber said. The state association market's huge for us, but we also, we're leaning really hard into our sports tourism
Right.
aspect and trying to
Right.
recruit sports events.
We love the segment "Who's Coming to Town." That's been great
Yeah.
because it does talk about sports and the other things that are coming to town. So you're
Absolutely.
leaning into that.
We are.
You have the facility. You got the high ceiling for the volleyball. You got the basketball,
Yeah.
right? All that.
And then, a conference that we're going to be attending coming up here, and after the first of the year is a religious market conference. And so, with our location and being as close as we are to an international airport, and we're on a major highway, 2 major highways and thoroughfares, it makes it a lot easier for people to get to us. And so, with our location, we really have a niche for the religious market. And actually, we just hosted a religious conference in the area, and so. We've
think
hosted,
that's nice.
We've
I think
hosted
that's nice.
several. And so our goal is to reach out to others and say, "Hey, we'd love for you to come here and check it out. We have a great community, great convention center, great team."
We got 45 seconds left. Who wants to talk about the award? Y'all just received a regular prestigious award, Mandy.
Go for it, Mandy.
Sarah, well, we just won the Southeastern Tourism Society Tourism Office of the Year.
Wow, now that's pretty cool.
So Sarah only got a few seconds. She said, "Mandy, I think we really should apply for this." And I said, "Okay, go for it." And wrote about all the things we've done past year, not just in marketing and tourism, but like how our convention center stayed open during our renovation, how we had record years, how we survived Helene, how we helped people, that were helping those clean up for the disaster. So there was a lot of pieces to it, but again, read about that too. But that's a big honor. Like I said, Hickory, we're doing great things here.
No doubt about it. That's a great way to wrap up. Visit Hickory, doing great things here. Now it's time for the James Oxygen Pass Off to Second Thought with Chuck Boozer. Who's on the show today, Chuck?
Oh, thank you, Hal. Good morning, everyone. Well, it's Tax Tuesday. Shannon Stamber is going to be here to talk about her bookkeeping business and what you should have done if you needed one more extension for the 2024 federal and state taxes. Blake B. Watts is going to be here to talk about American Legion Post 544, their upcoming first annual car show. Oh, we have to talk about that. And our pal Joe Cardinelli, retired NYPD Lieutenant Commander, will talk about how to spot a fake police officer. There's a couple of scams going on around the Charlotte and Greater Charlotte area. We'll talk about that. And podcaster Anthony Russo's thoughts on the state of Oregon suing to block President Trump's administration deployment of the National Guard. All this and more coming up on Second Thought, just a couple of minutes here on WHKY. Hal, back to you.
Great show, as always, Chuck. Coming up, this pass-off brought to you by James Oxygen, passing gas in Hickory for the past 69 years. James Oxygen. Before we hit that national anthem, I also want to thank another of our fine sponsors, Schubert Federal Credit Union. They are a sponsor of the national anthem. And yesterday, we had to get in some information from one of our team members. We didn't get to thank them at the end of the national anthem. It's very important that all of our sponsors are thanked. We do appreciate the work with the fine folks at Schubert Federal Credit Union. Today's national anthem brought to you by Shuford Federal Credit Union, where it's all about you. Shuford Federal Credit Union. Be grateful for what you got. Make it a great day. We'll talk tomorrow on First Talk.